Welcome to the Robbins Regional Wrap, your one-stop shop for all your Houston County news. I'm Megan Western. Each week we're taking you through what's happening in Houston County, Warner Robins, Robins Air Force Base, and your very own neighborhood. This week, Houston County's Public Defender's Office says caseloads are growing as the county's population rises. A new attorney was hired to help relieve some of that pressure. The Circuit Public Defender says this will allow clients to see their lawyers more often. Jasmine Lee shares what this means for defendants and victims waiting for their day in court.
Hello?
In the Houston County Public Defender's Office, case files stack up faster than they can be cleared.
I have another client who is waiting on bond.
And for months, an empty desk has only added to the pressure. Tonight, that's finally changing.
We've had this spot open for a long time, since June.
And without it, 9 attorneys have been handling more than 1,600 open cases. Individual caseloads range from 127 to 223 per attorney. That's above what the American Bar Association recommends, and it leaves little time for face-to-face client meetings. And while the county is adding one more attorney, Sarah says the demand inside this courthouse is growing much faster than the staff behind her.
As the senior assistant public defender, he'll have more responsibilities because we have been short-staffed.
Myers believes the new attorney will help mentor new lawyers and give clients more access to their lawyers, making sure cases move through courtrooms faster.
I've recently hired some great talent, but some of them are fresh out of law school. And so having someone like David to work for us is an excellent benefit.
And with cases piling up daily, Myers says his return isn't just filling a vacancy. It's critical to keeping clients from falling through the cracks as the office works to catch up. Reporting in Houston County, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
The new senior assistant public defender will officially start on December the 1st. And Warner Robins Planning and Zoning unanimously recommended approval of a text amendment defining data centers and where they could be located. Before this, the city had no rules in place for data centers, leaving a gap in that zoning code. Jasmine Lee shares what this could mean for the city.
To understand where data centers could go, Planning and Zoning Manager Darren Curtis starts with line by line.
This code here.
Buried in the city's code book, a definition Warner Robins never had until now.
We can expect a huge increase in the number of data centers across the country.
Tonight's vote creates a roadmap so the city is ready when a data center proposal arrives.
If a data center is proposed in the city limits of Warner Robins, we would not currently have a way to address that land use specifically.
The amendment limits data centers to general industrial areas and only with special approval. They cannot go in residential, commercial, or agricultural districts. It also gives the city a chance to renew power, water, and other infrastructure needs.
This is an effort for the city of Warner Robins to get ahead of the curve so that we can, if ever presented with that situation, address it to the satisfaction of the leadership and the citizens.
Planning and Zoning wants industry to thrive, but only where it fits. A data center could bring jobs and investment, but it could also stretch power lines, water supplies, and city services.
I don't know that we're necessarily prepared to handle a data center, but infrastructure is being improved every day, and so a time could arise where we are equipped to handle it.
Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
The amendment is now in the City Council's hands. They plan to vote in December. And Warner Robins City Council also supporting the community's first responders this week. Council voted to renew PTSD insurance for firefighters and police, with the state plan requiring coverage for first responders who develop PTSD after traumatic calls. Now the city will spend about $37,000 to keep support in place for another year. Jasmine Lee shows how this decision hits home for the people who respond to 911 calls every day.
Every shift begins with readiness, and firefighter Rochelle Bloyer knows that routine by heart.
We check inside, we check the outside.
Checking lights, starting the engine, every action is a step toward protecting the city. But not every battle is outside. Some stay long after the call ends.
Calls that tend to stick with me are pretty much anything that deals with kids or children. Yeah, so it's simply because we try our best to protect them.
The renewal keeps specialized PTSD support in place for first responders who face trauma on the job. It offers a one-time payment with a diagnosis and income replacement if PTSD keeps a first responder off the job. It also complies with the Ashley Wilson Act, a state law that guarantees mandated care for firefighters and police.
A lot of times our firefighters don't really talk about it, so they do carry a lot of things home dealing with the bad calls.
For years, the expectation was just deal with it. Now support is built into the job with peer teams ready to help. Deputy Fire Chief Newell Dixon still remembers one traumatic call.
Thankfully, car seat was empty. Just that element, and I say added that much more to it, that made that call that much harder.
From minor calls like cats and trees to traumatic fires and crashes, every day brings uncertainty. And this program ensures first responders have support when PTSD hits.
It does show the need and how it helps with the department and all of our personnel.
Chief Dixon tells me having this coverage matters, especially as crews face more violent and traumatic calls each year. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
The city says this PTSD coverage is already built into Human Resources' annual budget, just like their other insurance plans. And this week, we put on our annual Stuff the Truck fundraiser, partnering with the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank to support local families in need. Central Georgians came out to donate food and money for families in need, and Thursday, we stuffed the truck in Warner Robins and Macon. Hunter King spent the day at a donation site. Let's go check that out.
All right, I appreciate it. You have a good day.
The final day of Stuff the Truck brought out the best in Central Georgia. Volunteers greeted shoppers at the Warner Robins and Macon Walmarts. Before lunchtime, Macon had already filled 2 trucks. Johnny Chatfield retired last year. He donated $100 this morning in Warner Robins.
They told me how much just $1 would make a big difference, just $1. And I figure some people can give one, and I was glad to give 100.
Folks told me the recent government shutdown motivated them to give. Federal workers at Robins Air Force Base faced furloughs. The community saw how quickly people can need help.
Well, it means a lot. It means a lot with the way things are now, especially with the government being shut down and just opening back up.
Wendy Jackson traveled from Dublin to volunteer. She handed flyers to shoppers at the Macon Walmart, and some people hadn't planned on donating, but they changed their minds after seeing the list.
We even saw the children stopping to give, so that was really good to see the younger generation pretty much tots trying to give back to help others.
Drew and Julia Durr came to shop for the truck. They're just happy to be fortunate enough to give.
And it's not just fulfilling to the people in the community, but it also feels good to us. So it feels good to give back.
Unemployment sits at a 4-year high, and families across Central Georgia are struggling to put food on the table. Angeline Doe works for Atrium Health Navicin.
The Middle Georgia Community Food Bank cannot do this alone. It needs a lot of partners.
That's a wrap on Stuff the Truck 2025. Until next year, reporting in Macon, Hunter King, 13 WMAZ News.
The Middle Georgia Community Food Bank says $1 provides 6 meals. Atrium Health Navicin is also matching donations up to $25,000. Now, close to 1 in 6 people in our area are food insecure. That's according to the food bank. That means many of our neighbors regularly worry about where they can find their meal. Connor Hendrick spoke with one recently furloughed federal worker who says even though it's over, the effects of the shutdown carry on.
My neighbor next door, he's furloughed as well too.
Looking out across his backyard in Warner Robins, Michael Lee sees neighbors in the same boat as him.
There's a fear. How much longer can they continue to function and not get a check? So this is where I sit at for hours on end.
While furloughed from his job at Robins Air Force Base, Lee tries to keep busy with hobbies like bullet making. He's focusing on the positive, calling it a mini vacation, but this mini vacation is certainly not stress-free.
Well, it's not easy because I keep looking at my checkbook. Bills keep coming in, collectors still call, and so now I'm having to decide which bills to pay.
Lee isn't the only one missing paychecks. Doug Smith runs the food pantry at the Free Point Church in Perry. He says he's expecting more people to reach out for help this month.
The shutdown has got people scared, it really has. The other part of it is that as it approaches the holidays, there are more family visiting family.
This is Lee's first time missing a paycheck during a government shutdown, but he's seen this kind of struggle before.
I'm the youngest of 16 kids. I grew up on welfare. I know what it's like to only have cornbread and syrup to eat. And that's the only picture I have of my father.
He doesn't have much room in his budget to give, but there is room in his heart.
I can hear my mother, when she was on this earth, telling us that it's always a blessing, or more blessed to give than to receive.
Lee recently gave money to a food drive at his church, and he plans to buy a Thanksgiving meal for a family in need. Thankful he can share, hopeful for a return to steady paychecks soon.
Our neighbors, we still look out for each other.
In Warner Robins, Connor Hendricks, 13 WMAZ News.
Lee encourages you to donate to efforts like Stuff the Truck. He says you may one day have a need, and he believes good deeds come back to you. Of course, Hope Church in Warner Robins is getting ready for one of its biggest community events of the year, Feed the City. Organizers say that both Pack Night and Distribution Day are already at full capacity, with hundreds of volunteers signed up. Before families lined up this weekend for their Thanksgiving meals, a lot of work has to happen behind the scenes, of course. Jasmine Lee takes us inside those preparations.
For every one of these cans, there's someone on the other side of town hoping this lands on their table.
Load it up like that.
For Pastor Jordan Poole, the prep for Feed the City starts with small sound.
8, 9.
Every can matters.
This table right here has 1,000 cans of
8,000
corn.
here, 8,000 there, all part of Feed the City's prep work.
Feed the City started in 1997 with just a few families. It's really been great to see. A lot more, thousands of people getting fed every year now.
Students, churches, partners across Houston County helped fill these tables.
Our goal is to give each family a Thanksgiving meal that they can take home and prepare, which includes a turkey, but also corn, green beans, macaroni and cheese.
And they'll need the help. 450 people signed up for Pack Night, another 450 for Distribution Day, both maxed out.
Part of Thanksgiving is preparing the meal with your family, right? So that also creates a connection point for families.
And before thousands of meals get passed through a car window this weekend, it starts here with the prep, with the work you don't always see.
We really can create unity when we do something together.
Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, Pack Night starts tonight at Hope Church. Distribution Day starts tomorrow morning at 10. Each car will receive one bag and a turkey. Organizers say they expect to serve thousands again this year. And we're just days away from Thanksgiving, so of course we want to know what you're thankful for, whether it's family, food, your pet, or your job. Go ahead and tell us about it. Text your photos to 478-752-1309. Don't forget to tell us your name and where you're from. You may just see it on 13 WMAZ. It is a story that comes straight from the heart. Recently, the Houston County School District inducted 5 teachers into its Hall of Fame. It's a remarkable honor for educators who have served at least 20 years. The induction ceremony also gave those teachers a chance to hear powerful words from a former student. Education reporter Naomi Washington spoke to one of the inducted teachers and her student.
Barbara Gilmore spent 44 years in education, 25 of those being at Perry Middle School.
Knowing the different backgrounds that so many of the students were coming from, it just meant so much to me to give them that place away from home.
That she did. Emma Smith, who is now in college, had Gilmore in the 6th grade.
Nobody ever referred to her as Miss Gilmore that I know. It was always Mama Gilmore. She always had snacks in the back for your birthday. She knew when it was your birthday. And she just made every single day special.
And those special days turned into a forever bond. Smith wrote this letter for her, Mama Gilmore.
She showed me what it looks like to be a kind, godly woman who truly shows up for people, no matter what. Even when she was clearly having a rough day herself, there's teaching and then there's being a Mama Gilmore. That's why she deserves a spot in the Teacher Hall of Fame. The impact she had on me and so many others is important. We'll carry for the rest of our lives.
That is so special. That's my girl.
Gilmore showed up for her students in big ways, and now the district has a permanent place for her.
I never ever would have thought that this would have been me on this wall. It's just amazing.
Her name now sits outside of the district office too.
But that's an honor within itself.
Set in the bricks. Another shared milestone for this teacher and her former student, and they're already looking forward to the next.
On your wedding day, we'll talk about it.
That was a nice break.
Yes.
It's a legacy of love now etched in the district forever.
Congratulations to Miss Gilmore. We also want to congratulate the 4 other teachers inducted this year. They're Catherine Cooper, Jane Cooper, Wally Shaw, and Kelly Voss. Now this year marked the 11th Houston County Teacher Hall of Fame ceremony. And a Byron tree farmer is trying to stay merry and bright, but admits he's bracing for a decline in sales. Mike Roberts says the effects from the government shutdown, plus increased costs to grow and maintain his trees, are forcing him to look for alternatives to help buyers and his business. Olivia Dunn traveled to Roberts Tree Farm to hear about his preparations.
The shutdown might be over, but Mike Roberts says he's still expecting it to affect his tree farm sales this holiday season. Despite this, he's looking for ways to keep spirits bright and prices light.
You'll be rich in your heart forever if you stick with this, but that's about it.
Mike Roberts says Christmas tree farming isn't a lucrative business, but it is a joyful one. After watching his grandfather maintain Roberts Tree Farm for years, he took over as owner and operator 5 years ago. It hasn't always been merry and bright.
It's a concern to me. I think going into the season, just before we open up to sell trees, there's always that little bit of anxiety.
This year, he's especially worried about the government shutdown and how it will impact families shopping for trees. Although the shutdown ended last week, he says he's expecting families will still have to make difficult decisions this holiday season.
I know that it's going to take a little while for these families to kind of get their ducks back in line and get everything back balanced, and it's tough.
Customers aren't the only ones feeling the pinch. Robert says it costs $5 more per tree to grow and maintain them. He's had to increase his budget by roughly $10,000 just to keep up. As a seasonal business, higher costs plus fewer customers could be devastating.
It would be a struggle, because we are a small business.
To help himself and his customers, Roberts is selling red tag trees this year. He's selling each for $35 and says he especially wants those families who may have suffered from the shutdown to take advantage of the discount.
And we want to try to help spread this joy to all families alike, even families who may be experiencing, troubleship right now.
Roberts says those red tag trees are sold on a first-come, first-served basis. Reporting in Byron, Olivia Dunn, 13 WMAZ News.
Roberts Christmas Tree Farm officially opens tomorrow. And today you can check out the Mistletoe Market in Perry. This is video you're seeing from the market back in 2023. Of course, you can head to the Georgia National Fairgrounds and shop with over 100 vendors from across central Georgia and the southeast. You can find everything from t-shirts and socks to mugs and ornaments. The market will open from 9 to 6 today and tomorrow. That's November 21st and 22nd, 11 to 4 on Sunday the 23rd. Admission costs $10. It's all happening at the Miller Murphy Howard Building. And the city of Warner Robins announced its 2025 holiday events lineup. The main attraction, of course, the Christmas Parade. This is video from last year's, and it'll return for another year on Saturday, December the 6th. Go ahead and put it on your calendar. It's going to roll through Davis Drive and Watson Boulevard. You can catch Connor and I there as well. That starts at 10 in the morning. And the Winter Bazaar is also back on December the 4th. You can shop for items from local vendors and grab holiday treats. You can grab your Christmas goodies from 1 to 8 over at Perkins Field. Of course, that's not all the fun happening in Warner Robins. This Saturday, the 22nd, you can also enjoy their Community Fun Day at Dolores Tolliver Park. The event runs from 11 in the morning until 3. It features flag football, basketball games, music, and a food truck. Families, of course, you're encouraged to bring a lawn chair. Of course, 'tis the season for your holiday spirit. We want to see all your photos, whatever you celebrate. We want to see your decorations and festive fun. Go ahead and text your holiday spirit photos to 478-752-1309. You might see them right here on 13 WMAZ. Election season isn't over here in our area. In just a few days, some voters will head back to the polls to settle several runoff elections. In Fort Valley, there's a runoff between incumbent Mayor Jeffrey Lundy as well as challenger Shakina Reeves. And there are 2 runoffs for city council seats in other communities as well. We do want to let you know, of course, that early voting starts Monday, November the 24th. Election Day is Tuesday, December the 2nd. For polling places and times, you can either check with your local Board of Elections or visit the Georgia Secretary of State's My Voter page. Looking ahead now, there's a new project in the works to widen State Route 96 in Houston and Twiggs counties, and the Georgia Department of Transportation wants your input about it. GDOT plans to widen and reconstruct the highway from just east of Thompson Mill Road to just west of Highway 87, a project designed to cut congestion and keep up with future traffic growth. The price tag, more than $130 million, with construction scheduled to start in 2028. An in-person public information open house is set for Tuesday, December 2nd. Put it on your calendar. That's happening from 5 to 7 at Unity Baptist Church over in Bon Air. You can review the updated design, speak with project team members, and ask questions, of course, as well. All materials are also available online. GDOT will accept comments and questions through December 19th of this year. Alrighty, before we let you go, let's go ahead and get a look at some of the events happening throughout the Robbins region. If your family is needing some assistance right now, you can stop by Faith Lutheran Church on North Pleasant Hill Road Tuesday the 25th. Several organizations are coming together to host a spaghetti drive. You can stop by the church and grab a fresh baked spaghetti pan from your family, or for your family that is, from noon until 3 p.m. You can also get into the holiday Christmas spirit and support local businesses over in Perry. The city's hosting a small business Saturday and tree lighting ceremony next Saturday, the 29th. You can shop discounts, enjoy the activities and music right in front of City Hall. It runs from 10 in the morning until 6 p.m. Alrighty, that's a wrap on what's happening throughout the Robbins region this week. If you have a Houston County story you want to share with us, go ahead and email us at news@13wmaz.com. Make sure you come back each week to get all of your Houston County news and the stories that matter to you. Thanks for joining us.